Have you heard of the butterfly effect? It's a scientific term that says that a flapping of a butterfly's wings can cause a hurricane on the opposite side of the world. And I thought I was weird. Well, if this intrigues you, stick around. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rashid Huda. I'm also known as MisterWeirdo. And there's a link in the show notes that explains why. I have lived my life on my terms for the last 2 decades intentionally, and I'm on a mission to help you reconnect with your childhood dreams, embrace your inner weirdo, and create a life of freedom, fun, and fortune. Let's get started. The term butterfly effect was introduced by a weatherman named Edward Lorenz back in the 1960s. It's part of what he called a chaos theory. And what the chaos theory says is that even the minute changes in an in output can create monumental results, effects in the end in a complex system. Well, the universe is a pretty complex system. I try to explain this to an audience. I am a public speaker, by the way. I enjoy talking in front of groups. And if you know a group that would be interested in some inspirational, motivational speeches, please let me know. I'll put it in the comments, motivational speaker, so I know that uh, to contact you, and maybe I can be of service to you and your group. But I was at a meeting where I asked the audience right in the beginning if they believed that they have the power to change the world. Some did, some didn't. And so I went on to explain to them that not only did they have the power to change the world, but they have, in fact, already changed the world by showing up for the event where I was speaking. I told them, you see, you made a decision to come here and made a decision to stay and listen to me. That decision put you in this place at this time. But had you not made that decision, you would be somewhere else. And I would have been speaking to a different audience, which did not include you. So, by being here, you have effectively changed the world. But not only that, had you not stayed here for this event, you would be elsewhere interacting with other people in other places and impacting their lives, changing their lives. And in effect, you really started a chain reaction that would go who knows where. It's kind of like a butterfly flapping its wings that goes on making changes in the environment till it ends up on the other side and maybe turn into a hurricane or a tornado or a rainstorm. Who knows? But that's the general idea behind the butterfly effect. And it has not only intrigued me with its implications, it has done that to a lot of creative people. Did you know there is a movie called The Butterfly Effect? I believe that came out in early 2000s. It was a uh, good movie. I saw it because my son invited me to watch it with him. We watched it on a TV. I think he had rented the DVD or something. Um, we watched that movie, and it was about a guy who goes through some traumatic childhood experiences. And as he grows into an adult, he events, and he finds that by reading his journals, he can go back in time to the place when those things happened. And then by going in the past, he would make some changes, hoping to make his present better. Except when he comes to the present, it's a different world. And it's not exactly what he thought it would be. So he does that several times. It's an interesting movie. You gotta watch it. You've got to watch it. If this intrigues you, if this is something that rocks your boat, it's an excellent movie. And I particularly like the ending that I watched. And from what I understand, there have been several different endings of it. So I don't know which one you'll end up watching, but the one that I watched, I liked. And if you do watch it, please let me know in the comments what the ending was like. I would love to know that. Another creative adaptation of this, it was a Star Trek event, a Star Trek episode from the first season of the original series, and it was titled The City at the Edge of Forever. You Trekkies know what I'm talking about. But those of you who are not Trekkies, it was an event, it was an episode in which Dr. McCoy accidentally injects himself with some drug and ODs on it and ends up in 1930s Germany. And because of that, uh, the whole course of history changed, and the Starship Enterprise disappeared, and Kirk and Scott, Spock, and those people find themselves on a planet with no Starship Enterprise to go back to. Interesting episode. If you can find it, watch it. I'm not going to ruin it for you. And if you have seen it, you might want to see it again. I've seen it several times, but it is an interesting episode. Again, it talks about how one little event changes the entire course of history to where there is no Starship Enterprise several thousand years later, several hundred years later. Uh, very, very intriguing concept. I like things of that nature. Uh, Now you have a general sense of why I'm known as Mr. Weirdo. I like things like that. And if you do, please comment in the comments below. Say, I'm weird too. Yeah, I would love to connect with more weirdos, and we can have a blast being weird all together. So you may be wondering, what does that have to do with creating a freedom lifestyle, which is what this channel is all about? Well, nothing and everything. Because, as I mentioned a couple of days ago in my video, you have the right to your labor, but you don't have the right to its fruits. And that's what butterfly effect is all about. You can take action, but how that action affects the world around you is not within your hands. It can have all sorts of effects that you're not even familiar with or expecting it. But in the end, yeah, causes create effect. And if you have an intention, the law of manifestation say that your intention create the effect. How that effect comes about is not in our hands. The universe works in a strange way. It's a complex system. And in complex system, butterfly effects create chaos, or butterfly effect is the explanation of the unpredictability and chaos that seems like going on. But it's all systematically organized by a creative power that is in control. So with that, I say do what you can with what you have from where you are and leave the rest to God to take care of. And remember, He pays the highest ROI. Remember, Mr. Weirdo says you can create magic and miracles if you embrace your inner weirdo. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay blessed, my friends. Stay blessed.